What's going on, guys? This is Joe. I am back with another draft of Ixalan. Interesting choices to be made here. Drowned Catacomb is not a good first pick. It's just not. Call to the Feast is fine. It is two colors. It is foil, and it's uncommon. But it's two colors, but the card is great. Just getting 3 1/1s with lifelink for 4 is nice. Not a huge fan of Heartless Pillage, nor Navigator's Run. We are not doing a mill deck. I do like the Thundering Spineback. I think that dinos are a big deal. We would definitely need some ramp. The Growing Rights of Itlamok would be amazing with this card. I think this is going to be my pick. Call to the Feast is kind of being married to these two colors, which I'm not a huge fan of doing. This is a single color. It's a good color. We could be in a Merfolk deck and still have this card. That's how good this card is. Or we could be in a Dino deck in and of itself. I think there's a lot of really good green in the set, so I'm going to take this Thundering Spineback. Plus, the only other green card in that pack was Ravenous Daggertooth, which hopefully will come back, but even if it doesn't, I think we're okay. See, there's one here. They're not amazing cards, but they're fine. The Priest of the Awakening Sun does care about dinosaurs, but I don't know that it's the best choice for us here. If we're ramping, Blossom Dryad is definitely a thing. Sun-Crowned Hunters is good too, but it's also kind of expensive, and we already have a 7-drop. Emissary of Sunrise is fine. It doesn't give us any benefits for the fact that we might be dinosaurs, but it's a great card. If you watched our last draft, this card put in some good work for us, and I'm kind of a big fan. And again, like I said, there's Ravenous Daggertooth. I suspect this card will come around later. It might wheel, hopefully, out of the last pack. There's also a Shining Aerosaur, which I think is relevant in mentioning. It is a dino. It's a 3/4. It's a flyer. I think that's fine. I think, for me, it's between the Shining Aerosaur and the Blossom Dryad. I think to stay in one color and to kind of go with the theme of our first pick, I'm going to stick with the Dryad. It ramps. There are other big dinos out there. I think it's a fine choice. There's another Shining Aerosaur here. I may go with that one just after my cursory look. This is a 2-mana 2/1 that explores. It's a fine card. It doesn't give us any benefits for our dinos. And I think it's a toss-up between this green card and this Shining Aerosaur. Shining Aerosaur is good. It's a little expensive. It's 5, but again, if we're trying to ramp, then it shouldn't be a huge issue, although we're not seeing a lot of ramp cards. Deeproot Warrior's not terrible, but it's not better than this Merfolk Branchwalker. Explore is amazing. I mean, again, then there's also Jade Guardian, which is also fine. I like Merfolk quite a bit. I don't think you need heavy dinosaur synergies. Even with this guy, like, it's fine, but he creates his own dinos, so the other dinosaurs' claws is not that bad. I think I'm going to go with the Merfolk Branchwalker, though. I got to make a decision. To stick in our colors, and like I was talking about with the Ravenous Daggertooth, I'm hoping that some of these other, the Shining Aerosaurs come back. We shall see. Vineshaper Mystic is here, but it cares about Merfolk specifically. And while we have one here, we don't know that we're going to get a bunch more. Tishana's Wayfinder is good, don't get me wrong. We have been seeing a lot of white cards. There's also a Contract Killing, which is relevant, and a Pious Interdiction. Removal is important, so it's definitely something that we should be looking into. I think at this point, we're probably going to take one of the two removals. Or pieces of removal. Removals is not a word. I would either say the Contract Killing or the Pious Interdiction. Like I said, I think with what we've been seeing so far, Pious Interdiction is better, and I think it's a better color combination because there are dino synergies in white, and it's a fine removal spell. So I'm going to take that Pious Interdiction. Okay, there's Emergent Growth, which is kind of a win more. There's Kinjali's Caller. I don't know that I'm a huge fan. I think the card's okay, but I don't think it's amazing. To get us, a 6-drop Thundering Spineback would be great, but it's kind of just a 1/3. It kind of just sits there. It shrinks your dinosaur spells, which is nice, but there are other ones in green and red that are better. I like Emergent Growth. It is a sorcery, which is something that's relevant in that it's not really a combat trick like a card like, let's say, Crash the Ramparts. That, I think, is a better choice for us in this case. There's no crazy white, again, except for Kinjali's Collar here, after we've picked this Pious Interdiction. So I think I'm actually going to go with Crash the Ramparts. It's a good combat trick. It helps to bash in for more damage or get those last couple of points in to kill one of your opponent's creatures and survive in the process. Here's another Kinjali's Collar, but there's also a Pterodon Knight. I like Pterodon Knight better. It cares about dinosaurs, which is relevant, and it can gain flying for that, which is good. Flying is important. Evasion is good, and I've been hearing from a lot of people that flying is really good in this set. There's like that one green card that hates on flyers, but otherwise, unless you have, you know, burn spells or something like that, it's kind of difficult to deal with flyers. Plus, there's really not a lot else here for us, again, except for the Kinjali's Collar, which I suspect might come back since it's here so late. Let's see what other good green we can get. I'm not married to white. We have 2 4-drops in white, but that doesn't mean that we have to stay there. If there's good red, maybe we open something good in pack 2. Verdant Rebirth is not really where I want to be. I don't think that card's that good. Perilous Voyage is fine. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's fine. It's a bounce spell. It's some tempo against your opponent. And if it's a smaller creature, you get to scry. I've used that to some pretty good effect. There's also Bishop Soldier or Frenzied Raptor or Sun-Crowned Hunters. I think I'm going to go with the Frenzied Raptor. Again, it's a dinosaur synergies. I'm not married to white. And I don't mind a Frenzied Raptor. Not a lot of people like it because its toughness is so low. But I think if you have a bunch of dinos out there, they're just going to be making some bad trades anyway. So I'll take the Frenzied Raptor in this case. Yeah, here's a Shining Aerosaur, a Thrash of Raptors, and a Raptor Companion. Tough decisions to be made. The Shining Aerosaur did come back, which is a relevant thing to focus on, because flyers are good. I think in this case I'm going to take the Companion. Hopefully the other Shining Aerosaur also comes back, and hopefully I'm not forgetting that it was like the last pack that it was in. I'm hoping that it comes back, but it is a 5-drop. I'd rather take lower drops first in this deck. So I'm going to take the Raptor Companion here. Here's the Shining Aerosaur and the Ravenous Daggertooth. I think I'm going to go with the Aerosaur here. The Daggertooth is great, and I have no problems with it, but it is a 3-2. The Enrage isn't really super relevant. The 3-4 in the air is much better, so I'm going to go with that guy. Plus, we have 2 more packs, so I'm sure we're going to see plenty more of these common dinosaurs like Shining Aerosaur, Ravenous Daggertooth, etc. Maybe more Raptor Companions. I don't want like a million of them because the 1 toughness is kind of a problem sometimes. Oh, okay. So here's another Shining Aerosaur and another Ravenous Daggertooth. I guess in this case, I'll take the Daggertooth, and then, like I said, I'm sure we'll see more of them there. Clearly not being highly picked, and we're clearly in the right colors, at least with white. So yeah, I'll take the Daggertooth this time around. Again, gaining the 2 life is not super relevant, but it's a dinosaur. It's got 3 power. We're just trying to be aggressive and bash in. And if we were to put, you know, a Crash the Ramparts on it or something, then it becomes a 6-5. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's just another... I guess I forgot how many Shining Aerosaurs there were. So yeah, now I'm really happy I picked up that Daggertooth instead of the last Shining Aerosaur. Because it's a good card, but I don't know that I'd play 3 of them. It is a 5-drop. Here, I don't really like Encampment Keeper. I don't think it's a good card at all. I'll take it because it's in our colors, but it's going straight to the sideboard. Yeah, same with Jungle Delver. Same thing. I'm not a huge fan. I'll put it in the sideboard. And that card's just not good. So put that over there. Hey, Verdant Rebirth. Like I said, I wasn't a fan, and somebody took a land over it. Okay. That is genuinely upsetting, because this card is incredible. We are in neither of those 2 colors, which sucks. I hate passing this card. It's one of the best cards in the set. It's incredible, but it's not the deck that we're in. There's a Pounce. There's another Merfolk Branchwalker. There's a Sky Terror. This card is phenomenal. I don't think we're splashing red, and we don't have any of the green cards that allow us to make different colors of mana or fix our mana. I could go with another Branchwalker. I don't think it's better than Pounce in this situation or for our deck. So I think I'm going to take the Pounce here. Hopefully this Raptor Companion comes back. We did see it pretty late last time, and it's not a high pick, and it doesn't look like a lot of people are in white to begin with. Maybe this comes back, and we think about splashing red when it comes back. But I'm going to take the Pounce here. It's removal. It's great. There's another Merfolk Branchwalker. Good God. There's also a Grazing Whiptail. I think in our case, Grazing Whiptail is better than the Merfolk Branchwalker. It's good against flyers, which is important. It's a dinosaur, which is relevant. And then, again, if the Branchwalker comes back, I'll happily take that. There's a lot of blue in this pack. And a lot of pretty good blue, too. But yeah, I'm going to take the Grazing Whiptail here. Okay. Shapers of Nature is great. Really, really nice. It's a mana sink, which is relevant and important, but it's also blue, and that is a color that we are not. So probably not. Vampire Zeal's not bad. Queen's Commission is not bad. There's no... the Deep Root Warrior is the only like straight green in this pack, and it's not incredible. It's okay. Paladin of the Bloodstained is good. It gives you 2 bodies for 4 mana, a 3/2 and a 1/1 with lifelink, but it's 4 mana, and we're already kind of high on the curve here. So I think for me, it's between Queen's Commission. It does the same general idea as Paladin of the Bloodstained. It gives you 2 bodies, both with lifelink instead of just 1. And I think in our case, it is better for us than this Deep Root Warrior. So I think I'm going to go with the Queen's Commission. Okay, yeah, Rowdy Crew is a bad card. That's why it's still here, even though it is a mythic. It's just bad. But we have some white. We don't have any green, which is interesting. I guess the person to our left was taking green and is cutting it from us, which is fine. We can get it back in pack 3, and we have some sweet green already. There's the Duskborn Sky Marcher, which is just a flyer, but I think it's like a 1/1 for 1 with flying because we don't have any other vampires except for Queen's Commission. I'll take it because Skyblade of the Legion and Inspiring Cleric aren't better. I might even just, you know what? I might just take Cobbled Wings. Putting some of my other dinos in the air is not a terrible idea, and it equips for 1. So you play it early on when we don't have a lot of early drops, play it on like turn 2, and then start getting out 3 drops and stuff and higher, and then for 1 mana you get to put them in the air. So yeah, maybe I'll go with the Cobbled Wings. I'm not usually a fan of that card, but with big guys like this, I think it works. What is this? Why is this here? It's a foil rare. Oh, that's why, because it's kind of tough to get working. There's a Territorial Hammerskull, which is fantastic. I don't know why this card's still in this pack. There's also a Colossal Dreadmaw, and I would usually Windmill Slam this Dreadmaw, but Territorial Hammerskull is just that good. It attacks, it taps one of their guys, and you can just get in for even more damage. I mean, you tap their best creature, unless that creature is a Merfolk with Hexproof, which is a thing, but you tap their best blocker and just swing in for like 1,000,000 damage, and this deck is going to want to be aggressive. I'm going to take out the Frenzied Raptor for now. But I'm going to take this Hammerskull. The card's great. If this Colossal Dreadmaw comes back, I'll be happy, and it just might. Who knows? Like I said, it seems like that person next to us is picking green, so maybe not, but it might. Here for us, we have the Jade Guardian or the Skyblade of the Legion. Tillinolly Skin Shifter is a fine card. We're not splashing red, and I don't think that we need it. And there's another Frenzied Raptor as well. I'm going to actually take the Jade Guardian here. 4 mana for a 3/3 with Hexproof, because we're probably not going to have any other Merfolk. Like, we have this one, right? But this can just put the counter on itself. And so then it's just a 3/3 Hexproof Merfolk, which I think is fine. Again, there's a 1/3 Vampire here. It's got flying, but I don't know that that means that we need to be taking it. If we want to be more aggressive, the creature that our opponent can interact with is probably better. I am not taking the Ancient Brontodon. It's not happening. I don't have any ramp at all yet. I don't know why Contract Killing is still here. And I'm not taking another Verdant Rebirth. That was last pick after a land. So I'm going to actually go with the Queen's Commission. If this pack comes back around, what do you got? Yeah, it might have a Verdant Rebirth in it again. It might have Demystify. I'll take one of those if it's like the last 2 or 3 picks and there's nothing else for us. But I'm not going to take it over a Queen's Commission. This card is great. Yeah, see, here's the Belligerent Brontodon. I don't think I'm taking this one either. It's a 7-drop, which makes toughness... It makes our creatures deal damage equal to their toughness instead of their power. I don't... That's not really what we want to be doing. Like, sure, this is 1 extra point. This is 1 extra point. But it's nothing crazy. We don't have the 1/7. We actually haven't seen any of them. And this is 7-drop. So it's going to take a while for us to get there anyway. I am going to take the Slash of Talons. If it does that extra 2 points of damage or it kills something small, I'm okay with that. It's a fine combat trick, I think. Here's the Skyblade of the Legion. I don't know that we play it, but it's a 2-drop, so I'll take it. If we got to make cuts later, that's probably going to be one of my first. I'll take the Deeproot Warrior. It's another 2-drop, and we can be a little bit more aggressive about it. It becomes a 3/3 if it's blocked. Otherwise, if they don't block it, it's just a 2/2. But it gives us something early to do. Again, I might just cut it, but it gives us something early to do while we're trying to get to our big dinos at the end. Here's another one. It's better than gaining 4 life and drawing a card. So, yeah, as we can see, the white is dipping into vampires. Here's another Skyblade. One up the sideboard. The green is dipping into merfolk. And then otherwise, they're both in dinosaurs. So you kind of get to see the different interactions that the different colors have going on. Oh, God, neither of them? Can I have neither of these? I guess I'll take this. Because we already have an Encampment Keeper that we're not playing. We have 21 cards in our deck, which is... We're still not in pack 3 yet, so that's a good... I guess a good place to be. But like we said, there are other... Oh, this card's garbage. But there are other things that we could be doing. So... You know, other things that we can cut out of our deck, I should say. Like the Skyblade of the Legion or some of these Deeproot Warriors or whatever. Land. All right, pack 3. Something good for us. Something good in white, green, or both. Maybe. Kinda. Sorta. Hopefully. Let's see what we get. I don't think we have any bombs yet. This card's fine, but it's a lot of mana investment to get going. But I think it's the closest thing we have to a bomb, unfortunately. I could do with some more pounces. I would not be upset by that. Maybe a Savage Stomp, more removal in green would be helpful. More things like Pious Interdiction or Ixalan's Binding or something like that. Those are the kinds of things that I'm okay with and would like to look for. Yes, no, maybe. Just waiting on pack 3. Why is this taking so long? That's weird. I mean, it's not me. I can still click on my cards and stuff, so I guess we're really just waiting on somebody. Yeah, usually I'm not a fan of equipment. I love the art on this card, but that's obviously not... shouldn't dictate your picks. But I usually don't like equipment, but I think that with flying being so good and with dinos being so big, making them fly is not a terrible idea if you want to just get in with somebody for the last couple of points of damage. And, you know, if they block with a flyer, you can, like, shoot it with this or something. So I don't know what's happening. There we go. Hey! Ask and you shall receive. It's a 4/5. That's totally fine with me. Other relevant cards in this pack for us? None. Thrash of Raptors is fine. Dinosaur Stampede is fine, but we're not in that color. Otherwise, another Blossom Dryad to try to ramp us up. But Ripjaw Raptor is 100% the pick. I asked for something good in green or white, and I got something good in green. There is also Unclaimed Territory. We could just choose dinos, and a lot of our higher end is dinos anyway, so... You know, anything above 5 mana or above 4 mana right now is dinos no matter what. So yeah, I'm going to take the Ripjaw Raptor, like I said, over the Unclaimed Territory. If it comes back around, I'll take it. Or if there's another one here. There's another Dino Stampede. This pack seems oddly familiar. There's also a Tishana's Wayfinder. I like Tishana's Wayfinder. And the only other card in this pack for us is Ritual of Rejuvenation. So it's between Unclaimed Territory and Tishana's Wayfinder. I think Tishana's Wayfinder is great. I don't know if we need the help, though, whoops, with the Unclaimed Territory. I think... because it's not ramp, right? It's just another land. It's just a forest, right? If we were to put a forest, it would do the same thing. It's just, you know, white and green, but we look pretty evenly split to the point where, sure, if we're mana screwed, then yeah, like if we're, you know, missing a color, then we're not going to be able to cast one of these. But I don't think it necessitates a pick like that over a serviceable creature like Tishana's Wayfinder. So I'm going to take the creature here. We have Commune with Dinosaurs. I don't know... how many dinos do we have? It's a tough one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could probably do it. Well, there's also a Blossom Dryad here. That's a tough one. It also gets us a land, though. So this kind of does the same thing as this. But this is a 2/2 body, whereas this could also get us a dinosaur if we don't need lands anymore. That's a tough one. That's a really, really tough one. I think I'm going to go with the Commune because it's the first one we've seen. We've seen a couple of Blossom Dryads, so maybe it comes back around. But I'm going to take the Commune with Dinosaurs here. Here's a Colossal Dreadmaw. There's another Shapers of Nature. That feels real bad. I like this card a lot. We don't really have... you know, it's a mana sink for later on, I should say, with the 4 mana just putting counters on stuff, but we need the blue, and we don't really have lots of ways to splash. This is an 0/3 that explores, which is not terrible, but it's not better than a Colossal Dreadmaw. The River Herald's Boon is fine, but we don't have that many Merfolk. What do we have, like 3, I think? We got the 2 Deeproot Warriors and the Merfolk Branchwalker, and I feel like we're going to cut one of the 3 of these at least. So Colossal Dreadmaw is just better for us here. It's a 6-drop, which we have none of yet, and it's a dino, and it's a 6/6 for trample. Yeah, for 6 with trample. So I'm just going to go with that. Big, beefy, angry dinosaurs. So this is the kind of card I was talking about where I was saying that the 0/3 is not as exciting as, say, this guy. We're not in red, but this pack is great for us. There's a Ranging Raptors, which it can take some damage, and we can search for some lands and get up to our bigger stuff. There's a Blossom Dryad, which does similar things, but isn't a dinosaur. And there's a Spike-tailed Ceratops, but that's more for blocking. I think at this point, I'm going to take the Ranging Raptors. Spike-tailed Ceratops is not bad, but like I said, this guy clearly is a more defensive creature, although it's a 4/4, so maybe not. But I'll take this if it comes back around. Same thing with Crash the Ramparts or the Blossom Dryad. But I'm going to take the Ranging Raptors here. I think it'll help us get up to our bigger stuff if we need it. Ooh, there's an Air Elemental still in this pack. I mean, it's not for us, but that card's great. I don't know why that's still there. This is not relevant enough. And it's definitely not better than a Ravenous Daggertooth. So I'm going to take a Ravenous Daggertooth. I wish I could have had that Air Elemental, though. Okay, so here's some Merfolk Matters cards. There's a Kumena's Speaker. Gets +1/+1 as long as you have another Merfolk or an island. We would not have an island, so it would need to be another Merfolk, and again, we only have 3. Vineshaper Mystic, same thing, but there's a Blossom Dryad. So I'm going to take another Blossom Dryad, start ramping us up. There's also a Slash of Talons, but I think the sooner we get these guys out, the better. This is kind of more situational, whereas this is just always going to be relevant unless we, for some reason, have all 4 of these creatures out. And at that point, I don't think it really matters what else we have, because we're probably just winning. Here's a Legion's Judgment. I'll take that over the Looming Altasaur because we did not take the 4/6 for 7. I couldn't remember its power and toughness. We always call that card Butt Fight because it makes the creatures fight with their butts. But yeah, here's a Legion's Judgment. I'm going to take it. It's fine removal. We can take it out against like a vampire deck or something. This pack is bad for us. I'm going to take this Demystify and put it in the sideboard in case people have Pious Interdictions or Ixalan's Bindings or things like that. It's not bad to have at least one, and I think in this case it's a little bit better than Vampire's Zeal, despite the fact that we do have some Queen's Commissions. It's not bad to have one of these, just in case. Ugh, gross. I gotta take this card? There's literally nothing else here that we could play. I'm not playing this either, but I'll at least take it. Gross. Oh, man, that feels bad. All right. I could have rolled the dice and said that we would see another one, but we're so near the end of the pack that I didn't want to. I'll take it. If there's, like, a really relevant enchantment, I could put 2 in. I'll take this River Herald's Boon as well. Maybe it just goes in the deck. I got cuts to make anyway. I got lots of cuts to make. Yeah, because here's a Crash the Ramparts, so comes out. But yeah, here's a Crash the Ramparts. I'm happy that came back. Very, very happy. Demolish is terrible. And an island. Guys, I do not hate our deck. I'm not going to lie. I don't know that it has enough removal. We will see. I think it's only got, like, what, 2 pieces, 3 pieces? It's got the Pious Interdiction, the Legion's Judgment, and the Pounce. Actually, let's group creatures separately. Yeah. So we've got Combat Tricks, we've got Token Makers, we've got Legion's Judgment, Pious Interdiction, and Pounce. We've got the Slash of Talons as well, I guess. Let's see what we can take out to make this deck the 23 cards that it needs to be. We don't... That's a tough choice. This is always the most important part of drafting, right? Once you've picked, picking is obviously the most important, but once you've picked, now trying to make your deck is quite difficult. So let's see what we can do. Do we need 2 Blossom Dryads? I don't know. Because the only mana sink that we have is this guy. So if we don't see him, these feel bad. So I'm going to take 1 out and see how the deck works with just 1, ramping us up to our bigger stuff. This guy's great. There's no way he comes out at all. I love that art too, and especially going along with the flavor text. Just cracking it open to get at the tasty morsel inside. I love that. That's hilarious to me. I like both of our Crash the Ramparts. I think that's great. I think this will work, especially giving something trample that doesn't already have it. This could really work to get in those last couple of points of damage for us. I could probably... See, the problem is, like, these 2-drop creatures. I said I would take out the Skyblade, and I will. I don't... Like, I could probably just get rid of all these merfolk, right? But then we're doing nothing early game. Just nothing at all. Except for Raptor Companion. So I don't necessarily want to do that. I think our lower end is low enough. Our 3-drop slot is crazy. When you look at, like, the 5 spells and the 6 creatures that we have, that's a lot. We do have, but I like them all, right? Ravenous Daggertooth is a dinosaur, but it's also a 3/2, and you gain 2 life whenever it takes damage, which, to be honest, if that means it dies and I gain 2 life in the process, presumably it's trading with something. Or I have, like, Slash of Talons as backup. So that's a thing, and I don't want to get rid of that, but I do need to make 5 more cuts, which is really rough. I think I might get rid of the Jade Guardian. If our opponent is super interactive, we can put back in this card because it is hexproof, and so if that's the only thing that we're going to get to keep around, and we can keep putting Crash the Ramparts on it, that might be just what we need. What else? These are tough choices. Let's get rid of the Cobbled Wings for now. If our deck is aggressive enough, we won't need it. So hopefully that's the case. If we do need it, first of all, if they have a bunch of flyers, or if they're locking down the ground really well, maybe we put in Cobbled Wings to be able to fly over and do the damage that we need to do. And maybe we take out these Queen's Commissions. Let's see how we do with those. We need 1 more cut. I think when we go to sideboard, we will definitely be thinking of Legion's Judgment. It's staying in for now, because if they play something huge, we have a way to get rid of it. But if they don't have anything, and we see that after game 1 or 2 or whatever, then we can take this out and put in something more relevant like the other Blossom Dryad to help us ramp, or the Jade Guardian, or the Cobbled Wings or something. We'll be able to see based on what kind of a deck they are using. I think we have enough dinos that we don't need to take out this guy. We don't need to take out any of our top end. So, what else do we take out is the question. Maybe it's Tishana's Wayfinder. That feels bad to say, because it could be a 3/3, but it could also be a 2/2, which would get us a land, which is relevant for higher end stuff, but I need another cut. So I think I'm going to take it out. I like our 2-drop slot. Maybe do we put in the Wayfinder and take out a Deeproot Warrior instead? This is just only a 3/3 when it's blocked, whereas this could be a 3/3 the whole game if we see one of our other cards on top. So yeah, maybe I take out the Deeproot Warrior. I'm always hesitant to take out a bear, basically, because 2-drops are important, but we do have some, and then once we get into 3, we just have everything that we might possibly need. So I'm going to try this. We will see. We have a lot of sideboard possibilities if we need them, and we will see what happens from there. I will be back in round 1. Actually, hold on. Let's add lands first. I think it's a pretty even split. They want 11-6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So unfortunately, with an 11-6 split, we're never seeing white. If we up it to 10-7, there's a lot better of a chance, but we have a heck of a lot more green, which is important. But we want to be able to do our, early drop like Raptor Companion, Territorial Hammerskull, whatever stuff. And the Blossom Dryad at 3 helps us out, being able to use white more than once if we only have 1. So I prefer 10-7. I think 6, you're getting closer to like splash territory, and I guess that's kind of the case for us, but yeah, I think I'm going to add this to the deck. And like I said, I tried to say before, I'm going to save this and we'll be back with round 1 in just a second. We are back with round 1 once it clicks over. There we go. We're back with round 1. I did win the die roll, and I would love to play first. Apparently, we're playing against Dak Faden. We have 2 lands, but we also have the Blossom Dryad. We have 2 2-drops, so I'm definitely keeping this hand. I think this hand is just fine. And I think it would probably be best if we... Well, I guess it depends. But I was going to say, I think it would be best if we explored first. But I guess it doesn't definitively matter. We'll see. They are part red. That's the thing. All right. We drew a Legion's Judgment. So let's... I guess if we explore first, if we hit a land, it's a 2-1. If we don't hit a land, it's a 3-2. And so, as opposed to a guaranteed 3 power. And I guess with... Yeah, I'll try that. We'll do this one first. Territorial Hammerskull. I want it. Problem is we don't have a land, which is a big deal. I'm going to keep it on top. But we have a 3-2 now, so that's good. They have a second land and a 2-1 haste that they don't attack with. We drew our Territorial Hammerskull. Question is, do we attack? Because we have this guy as backup, but they're keeping it back as a blocker. Why? It had haste. They could have gotten in with a free 2 points of damage, or they might have been, afraid that we would just trade it off. We're an aggressive deck, so we should be attacking, because to be fair, then this 3-1 has free reign to attack next turn, and we don't know when we're getting our third land. So, let's go to combat and attack, and if they trade, they trade. If we get in for 3 points of damage, we get in for 3 points of damage. They trade. Okay. It happens. And then I will follow up with the Raptor Companion and pray to God that we get a land. Because with the land, this hand's fine. Blossom Dryad lets us play our Ripjaw Raptor, and it's no matter what land. Yeah, they had nothing. Okay. Well, unfortunately, this is a 6-drop, but we can attack and see what they do in response. They do have 3 red mana, so okay. I guess we end our turn as well. I was going to say it could conceivably not get through, but that's why they didn't attack, is because apparently it was their only creature. They play a Thrash of Raptors. Fine card. It will die to this guy if they block him, though. So that's something. Land? Yes, we got a land. All right, let's attack first. And if they trade, they might think that we're still off land. They don't trade. Okay, let's play a land and play a Blossom Dryad. Next turn, we can play Ripjaw Raptor. Even if we draw a land, we don't have anything for 5, so they can attack if they want. I will not block. That's fine. And they play this. They attacked, so they get to deal 2 damage and kill my Blossom Dryad. Okay, well, thankfully we drew another 3-drop. The question is, this is not another dinosaur. If they play another dino, this Thrasher Raptors becomes a 5/3, and then we can kill it with Legion's Judgment. For now, I think we attack. If they trade, that's fine. They don't. That's also fine. I will play the Ravenous Daggertooth here, because if they trade off with it, we get to kill one of their creatures, and then we gain 2 life in the process. So we'll go back up to 19, and they're getting a little low. I mean, we need mana, but once we drop like this Colossal Dreadmaw or something, we should probably be doing pretty well. Unknown Shores. Okay, they made a green to play the New Horizons on their other land because they were off one of their colors as well. So, and something gets a counter, which means now we can kill it with Legion's Judgment if it survives. Okay, so this now we cannot kill with Ravenous Daggertooth, and so if it's the only thing that they attack with, we will not be blocking. We'll just go to 13. But if they attack with both, I'm happy to trade against this guy because we know we can just kill it. They have 3 cards in hand and 3 mana available. Let's see what they do. That was a good play, though, putting the counter on this guy. Getting it out of range of the Daggertooth, killing it. They're still playing stuff. They're communing with the dinosaurs. Okay, we know what it does. We have one ourselves. Dinosaur or a land. We'll see what they find. Presumably they're looking for that land, but maybe not, because now they have a way of making 2. It's a plains. Wow, they are 3 colors. That's even worse for them. They were off 2 colors. And they kept that hand? I don't know that I would have kept that hand. All right, Ixalan's Diviner. It's an 0/3. It's exploring for them. And they're getting Fathom Fleet Firebrand, which is the 2-drop that can be pumped +1/+0 for 2 mana. Okay. They go to combat. And they're attacking with just that guy. As I said, I will not block that. I will just go to 13. Okay. For my turn, we draw another land, which is nice. So we have 4 now. So we can play the Ripjaw Raptor, which is great against their entire board. But I think first we attack. I don't know that that's the right option, to be honest with you. We might have to just play the Ripjaw Raptor and pass, which feels bad. But if we attack with this, they just block here and they're fine. If we attack with this, they block here and we gain 2 life. So I guess maybe we attack with the Daggertooth. That way we can, if they want to block with their 1/4, we gain 3 life. Otherwise, we get to kill their 3/2. They're tapped out, so it's not like they have any combat tricks or anything. Yeah. So they offer the trade. We still gain 2 life. We go to 15. And then we play our land and drop our rare. And that's it. We are tapped out, so we can block very easily. They finally got that plains they were looking for. And they're tapping 1,000,000 mana. Okay, so they have a 3/4. That seems fine. This is a 6/4 now, because it got bigger with the flyer. So if we take 6, we get to kill it with Legion's Judgment next turn and then have no other play, which feels bad. But we have a 4/5 that they won't be able to profitably block. I might just block. No, I guess I wouldn't block at all. Let's just take it. They have 3 mana and 1 card in hand. So I'm not super concerned about a combat trick for blocks, especially if they're just playing Tashan's Wayfinder. And Tilinali's Knight entered. Card's fine. And they put it in their graveyard. So that's also fine. We drew a Deeproot Warrior, which is not relevant. This, on the other hand, is relevant. Let's attack with just the Ripjaw Raptor. We get to at least draw a card if they block. If they don't, they go to 7. Okay, they go to 7. Great. And let's play Legion's Judgment to kill their 6/4. It's the only target, but that's fine. This can trade off with this, and then we would take 4 if they swung out. So I think that's fine as well. Let's pass and see what they've got. They're definitely going to hit us for 3 in the air unless they really feel like this has to stay back on blocks. Okay, so they're swinging out. That's fine. I will declare blockers, and I will block their 3/3 with my 3/1, taking 4 going to 5. I think that's fine. And then they're playing... They have 1 card. It was a top deck of a 5/4. Well, we have +3/+3 and trample, which would make it 7. So if they take the damage, they lose. And if they block with this, ours lives. We draw a card, and then they deal 3 damage to us, bring us to 2, and then we lose. So that's actually really tough. They're almost definitely going to block here. So what do we do? Can we do anything? We're going to take 3 in the air. And then if we don't block this guy, we die. But if we block this guy, we die. So we have to go for Crash the Ramparts. We have to see if we can get in, if they maybe don't want us to draw a card. We have like 4 lands here, which sucks because we have our 6 and 7 drop in hand. So we have to try for Crash the Ramparts. If they block, we lose. If they don't block, we win. But it's our only way to win. And so we have to go for it. The Territorial Hammerskull doesn't do it. The Deeproot Warrior doesn't do it, and those are the only other 2 cards that we could play. So, let's do it. We attack. I mean, it would be dumb of them not to block. Yeah. So the only thing that we can do... If we play Crash the Ramparts, they take 3, and we draw a card. But we will have 1 mana open, so there's nothing that we can draw, even a land, because then we just play the Deeproot Warrior. So I'd rather concede than reveal to them that we have the Crash the Ramparts. So we concede, and we go to sideboarding. Let's go to game 2. That was rough with our lands. I thought it was a fine keep. We had 2 2-drops, 2 mana, but it didn't quite work out the way we wanted. They didn't have a ton of big stuff, but they had enough where I'm definitely not taking out the Legion's Judgment. In terms of Cobbled Wings, I don't think that was really the issue, right? If we had the Cobbled Wings on the Ripjaw Raptor, we still probably wouldn't have won. Another Blossom Dryad would have helped. They killed it very quickly, which was good for them, right? Because otherwise we still wouldn't have, we actually wouldn't have been able to play our 6 or 7 drop because we only had 4 lands. So Blossom Dryad only makes it 5. If we had the second one, maybe, but still. What do we take out, if anything? They weren't super interactive, so we don't necessarily have to worry about the Jade Guardian here. I guess Cobbled Wings is the only question, right? They had a Shining Aerosaur themselves. We didn't see either of ours, but they had one. But I'm not super worried about it because we have the Grazing Whiptail as well, which all three of these block the Shining Aerosaur fine. So I think at this point we just submit and see what happens. Okay. I would love to play first. It didn't work out so well last time, but that doesn't mean it won't this time. Well, we have 3 white, which is interesting because we only have 7 of those in the deck, and no green, and we're on the play. So yeah, I have to mulligan this hand. That, if I draw any green, we're great. But we got so screwed last game. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to hate myself if we're screwed again. They do have 3 colors of mana. We have Slash of Talons at least. But we'd have to wait until next turn. And if we draw a green, I'm just snap playing this guy, obviously. They're playing something. It's Commune with Dinosaurs. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this game's going to go real poorly for us if we don't get a forest. There's 10 of them in the deck, and we got 3 out of 7 white sources, so maybe we can get lucky with a green one. Who knows? Otherwise, any land gets us Pterodon Knight. But, yeah, this is going to be a problem. It's taking a long time. They probably have a tough choice between land or... Yeah, they're playing them. They choose a mountain. That's fine. I assume they pass. Yep. Okay. We got our own... I was just going to say, Commune with Dinosaurs would be a bad draw for us right now. It sure is. And we pass. How did I know that that was going to happen? That's terrible. Okay, well, they've got Tillinolly's Knight. We can kill that with a Slash of Talons. That's cool. Oh, unless they control a dinosaur, and then we can't. At least on attacks, which at this point they're not blocking because we don't have anything for them to block. Forest. Nope. Okay. We can do straight nothing again, so pass. If they don't get a dino, we can kill this guy. They have all 3. They communed for this one. New Horizons. Good. Okay. Oh, but they put a counter on it? Great. Well, now it's out of range of Slash of Talons. Looks like we just take 3. That sucks. Yep, we can do nothing about that. And so it's our turn. Hey! We can play something. It's the only thing that we can play that is relevant at all. It's a 3/3. At least, it's funny, both of these cards care about you having dinosaurs. And they're both 3/3s. But mine costs 4 mana, and theirs costs 2. Okay, they have a Thrash of Raptors, also outside of Slash of Talons range. Yep, it becomes a 4/4 because they have a dinosaur now, which means I don't block, and I go to 13. The game falls further away. Green, not green, and a 5-drop in white. Well, what can we even do? We can do nothing? I mean, we can attack. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Let's attack. If they block, then I'll trade. But they're not going to because they're not stupid, I feel like. They just swing back. I guess they don't know what we have. But I can't imagine they block here. Yeah, they just go to 17. Trade off my only creature for their big, like, gross dinosaur that if they get another dino, they just have a... They can attack us for, what, 9? Bring us to 4. If it's the hasty guy, the 2/1, they can bring us to 2. Come on, deck. It's like kind of too late for me to ask for it now, but could you work with me maybe? Maybe? The problem is, like, we're in such defense mode right now. Yeah, of course. Okay, great. We're in such defense mode right now that, like, if we draw the green, playing the Blossom Dryad does nothing for us. Because it's a Blossom Dryad. We can't, you know. I can't block. Okay. Ranging Raptors. Well, we don't have to discard yet. Do we just lose now? 5, 5, and 3. If we block here, we take 8 and lose. So there we go. I'll be back with round 2. That was terrible. I'll be back with round 2 in just a second, and we'll see if we can actually get some lands. Well, that was a very fast round 1. Let's see if we have the opportunity to do some stuff here in round 2. This is not the perfect hand, but we've had much worse. We have 2 of each color. We have 2 3-drops and a 4-drop and 4 lands, so we can at least play out our entire hand. If we draw some of our higher drops, that won't necessarily be the case, but at least we've got some stuff going on. So I'm probably going to, once they give me the option, keep this hand. Hey, look, there it is. Let's see what our opponent's got going. Blue. That's something. And then what do we draw? A Pounce. All right, nothing to kind of start off with, but we'll play a land and pass. Double blue. But still nothing. Okay, and we draw a Raptor Companion. We can actually play something. Now it just looks like we always had it. Nice. All right. Next turn we can get in. We can play out our Ranging Raptors. They play nothing. They are land screwed. Been there. Definitely been there. Let's attack for 3 and see if they actually have a response or not. They do not. All right, so we play a land. Let's go with... You know what? I'm going to go with the Hammer Skull. If they play 1 creature, we can tap it and get in for damage. We could play the Ranging Raptors later. Or the Pterodon. We could play the Pterodon Knight next turn. Just put as much power on the board as we can while they're faltering a little bit on land. Which kind of sucks, you know. I feel bad, like I said, I've been there, but at the same time, I'm going to do what I have to do. They get rid of 1 with the Wind, because they don't have a creature. Alright, so let's go to combat. Swing with both. There's no trigger for our Hammer Skull. We'll play a land and the Pterodon Knight and pass. Yeah, I mean... Even if they weren't land screwed, we're actually looking pretty good here. We've got removal spell, combat trick, and then another creature. Okay, so they just scooped it up. Yeah. Again, been there. That's, I guess, a little bit of karma for us, but I feel bad for our opponent, obviously. We're just going to run it back. We literally saw 2 blue lands from them, so we'll see if we can get something else going here. We can save sideboarding for game 3 if it comes to that. Hopefully it won't, obviously, but we'll see. They are taking some time. They're allowed. That's their prerogative. We took a while during round 1 to think about sideboard, I should say, between games. We didn't do anything with it, but it kind of wouldn't have mattered anyway. All right, so they are going to decide whether they want to play first. They're deciding whether they want to mulligan. This is an okay hand. We can commune first to get another creature. We can branch walker as well to explore. And we have a combat trick as well. So yeah, I think we're okay here. I'll keep this hand. Ooh, they opt. Well, that'll be something that'll help them find stuff, whether it be lands or spells, whatever they may be lacking. But right now, we still have no idea if they are a second color, maybe even a third color. We have no idea. We drew a 6-drop. That's fine. And this is a sorcery, so let's do it now. Commune with the dinosaurs. And we see a Ravenous Daggertooth, a Pounce, a Legion's Judgment. So that kind of sucks with those 2 on the bottom, but that's fine. If we pick We have 4 lands, so if we take one of these, we'll have 5 and then eventually 6, but I'd rather take the Daggertooth. It's a second creature, we can hit it on our curve, so yeah, I'll take the Daggertooth. We get to show it to them, but it's not a huge deal. On the bottom, in any order, let's go with Pounce, Legion's Judgment, and then the Forest and the Plains in that order. That's fine. And then that'll be it, right? Yeah, that's it. The Plains was highlighted, so I was like, oh, I can play a land, but I just completely lost track of where we were. So that's totally fine. They tap 2 for a Shaper Apprentice. If they get another Merfolk, it'll fly. All right, we drew a land anyway. Let's play this Merfolk Branchwalker. Even after exploring, that's not perfect for us. It was a land, so it's still a 2/1. We just have 2 2/1s staring at each other, and that'll be my turn. Next turn we'll have a 3/2. Again, still not good against their Shaper Apprentice, but I'm assuming they're going to want to play another Merfolk and get it in the air. This is a fantastic card. We've talked about that. It's a mana sink, and so if they're low on mana, it's not going to help them, but yeah. They will attack, and that will... Oh, it's flying. So even if I wanted to block, which I don't, it wouldn't really matter, would it? And that'll be their turn. What do we draw? Our 6th land. Well, now we don't need any more. So no more, please. All right. The question is... I'll attack. If they block, I'll crash the ramparts to kill this thing, because it is a threat. And if they don't block, I'll just play the Ravenous Daggertooth out. I think that's a perfectly fine play. Nope, no blocks. Figured. I get in 2 points of damage. We've already played our land, so let's play the Daggertooth. Also a good defense against this, at least if it's attacking. They'll have their 4th land this turn, so they can use this if they want, but if that's all they do with their turn, I'm not too upset by that. I'll take 3 in the air in exchange for them not building out their board. We do have to wait a little bit of time for this guy, so let's see what, if anything, they've got going on. They do attack with both. They might have a combat trick of some kind. We'll gain 2 life, but I'm gonna offer this trade. I have to at least try. They, like I said, have to have something. Yep. 4 mana. Bounce, put it on top of my library? Something like that? Oh, they just put a counter on it. Okay. So they did. They used their entire turn to do that. That's fine with me. I'll hopefully draw something relevant. Yeah, it's another Ravenous Daggertooth. That's perfect. That's actually really perfect. Let's attack. Do I attack? That's an interesting... That's fine. Because at least if we have this Daggertooth back, we can block next turn, we can not block next turn, and leave up Crash the Ramparts, since we don't know if we'll have a follow-up play for the turn after, because next turn we'll have 5, which is not 6, and then the turn after we'll have 6. Excuse me. So let's see. We're not in an amazing position. I like I said during the drafting portion, I love that card so much. I'm kind of upset that we could have had 2. It's so good. Okay, so they have 4 more mana. I think here I take it because we have this for next turn for this guy. Yeah, we go to 12. They have 4 mana and 5 cards in hand, so they get to play a Jade Guardian. That's a good card. They can put it on their flyer or on their 4/4. And they put it on itself. Okay, well, that makes sense, I guess. It can't be interacted with by us, so now it's a 3/3 that we can't deal with except in combat. We draw more lands. Just what I've always wanted. All right, let's... See, the issue is now it's harder for us to attack. I guess if we leave back the Branchwalker and then crash the Ramparts on it to block, we can at least attack now with the Daggertooth, and they won't want to block with their Hexproof guy because they're going to need that. So let's attack with the Daggertooth. If they don't block, they go to 13, which makes sense. I couldn't imagine they would want to. And I'm going to pass, leaving up Crash the Ramparts for blocking value later. I'm going to try to block their 4/4 if I can. Yeah, they give that flying as well. That's fine. I mean, it sucks because now it's I'm going to take 7 damage in the air and go to 5. But if they attack with this, I'm killing it. And they don't, yeah, and they don't have enough mana to use its ability. So, yeah, declare attackers is fine. Declare blockers here. Say okay, and then we will crash the ramparts on this for 3. It doesn't live. It's a trade. They have 3 mana to bounce it to my hand and they get a treasure. And so I take 7. And I go to 5. My spell fizzles. That's fine. And that's it, right? Technically they have 1 mana available, but otherwise they're basically tapped out. Okay. We draw another land. That's just, this deck does not enjoy playing Magic today. Let's, oh yeah, we just lose. We lose to flying in the air. We get to concede. At least the games are going quickly, just not in the way that we want them to. Okay, so they have flying, right? So what do we have for flyers? Obviously we have these 2 and the grazing whiptail, but is that enough? And do we have anything to help us out with that? There's Cobbled Wings. We could put in Cobbled Wings in place of, I don't know, Tishana's Wayfinder. Like, it's a way to deal with their flyers, because if we can't deal with their flyers, we just lose outright. Slash of Talons isn't bad for their 2/1, and even if they get to put a counter on it, it'll take 2 damage and it'll still die. But what do we take out for it is the question. I'm always like leaning towards taking out this Tishana's Wayfinder because our 3-drop slot is so heavy, but it's such a good card. Like it could just come down as a 3/3. I love Explore in this format. It just seems amazing. But yeah. Then there's this, right? If we're aggressive with it and they block, we just get lands. It's a tough one. I'm going to take out the Raptors. If we're trying to be more aggressive, if we're trying to do more damage in the air, excuse me, that might be our best bet. So let's try that. Let's play first. Yes, please. All right, so we have 2 lands and a Commune with Dinosaurs. We have a 3-drop, a 4-drop, and a 5-drop. Doesn't look good, but with Commune, I think I'm going to keep it. If we can Commune for a white land, for any land at all, I think we're okay. Whoa, they went to 6. They're deciding whether to go to 5. Tough spot. They were very land screwed in game 1. We've, again, they do go to 5. Wow. That's rough. Okay. They're gonna scry. Where did they put it? They put it on the bottom. Okay. Oh, did I? Yeah, I think I did. I think I skipped right through my turn there. Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, regardless, we have a land. Let's Commune. We found a Plains. We found a 4-drop grazing Whiptail, which sucks to have that on the bottom, and a 7-drop. I'm okay with that on the bottom. And we already have our Shining Aerosaur. So let's take the Plains. And then we'll put the Whiptail, the Aerosaur, the Spineback, and the land on the bottom. Okay. Like I said, I completely lost track of where I was again. And we skipped through our turn there because I was looking at the chat, which is unfortunate, but that's life. Hey, look, a Deep-Root Warrior. I have one of those, which I will actually also be playing next turn. So, That's fine. I draw, unless I draw something better. I don't. I draw a Ravenous Daggertooth. Still not bad. It or Tishana's Wayfinder is fine on turn 3. But I'm going to play that and pass. They have 3 lands. On a mull to 5, that's not bad. 3 lands in a row. Do they attack? It would make sense, because if I block, my creature dies and yours doesn't. So I'm just going to take 2 and go to 18. 3 mana to cast this guy again. That's a thing. Alright. If we play... Well, let's attack. We'll do the same thing they did. They don't have the mana to put a counter on it, so I'm assuming they're also just going to take 2. Yep. Okay. Then we play a land. And we play out... that's a tough question, actually. Out of these two? I guess we play the Wayfinder because we want to explore, because we want to hit our land drop next turn. So it at least, even if it's not a land, it like gets us closer to it if we need it. Yeah, it's a land. Okay, perfect. It's a 2/2, which kind of sucks, because they just have a 3/3 and a 2/2 that will become a 3/3. And they can, we've seen them be willing to waste their entire turn to put a counter on something. But I'm okay. I guess I'm okay with taking 5, right? Could be 6 if they put a counter, but then again, they're wasting their turn. And next turn, we just have the Ripjaw Raptor as a 4/5. So yeah, that's fine. I will let this damage through. I will not block. And we will see what they do. They do not put a counter, because presumably they have something to play. They have a Siren Lookout, and they get to explore. They found a forest, so it stays as a 1/2 flyer. That's fine. And we have a Plains. Well, now we can have even mana color-wise, and next turn we can have a 3/4 flyer to deal with this 1/2, even if they put counters on it. So let's play a land. Let's attack with both of these. And then we can play our Ripjaw Raptor as a follow-up. No blocks. Okay, we're comparable in life at this point. That's good. Let's play the rare and pass. Let's see what they do. We could take 1 in the air. We could take 2 in the air if they want to put a counter on it. Right now, they can't put a single counter on anything that will kill the Raptor. And if they let us block with it, we get to draw a card. So I'm assuming these 2 will be staying back, at least until they've put up 2 counters, for example, on this guy. And even then, if that's what they do, we have Crash the Ramparts. Okay, so they have Depths of Desire to put it back in our hand, and they get a treasure, and now they can attack for 6, and we go to 7. Well, we have a Territorial Hammerskull, which is... We are 1 short land-wise to be able to play, like, Daggertooth and keep up Crash. So let's play a land. I think what we'll do is, if I play Aerosaur this turn, if they bounce it to our hand with like another Depths of Desire or put it on top of our library or something, we don't lose. They only have 6 damage. But if they can like bounce it and put a counter on something, then we do. Because if I, obviously I'm referring to if I attack with both. I'm gonna risk it and bring them to 10. And see what happens. I guess the question is, do I play out the Aerosaur then? I think it's better to replay the Raptor. They know we have it. They have 3 mana up, so they could easily like cancel it or something, but then we are just kind of screwed no matter what we play, like if we played the 5-drop anyway. So I'd rather... Oh, we're still in blockers? Good God, that's annoying. Undo it all. Okay. My mistake. They take it. Now we play out the Raptor. That's fine. And then pass. Okay, they did not cancel it. That is a good sign. At least we have some kind of a chance. Although, okay, at the end of my turn, they're bouncing it again. So they can just put a counter and they win. Well, I'll at least make them do it. I mean, you've got it. You just have to put the counter on something. Do you do it? Yeah. Okay. They got it. Well, guys, I thought this deck was good. Turns out, not so much. I will see you guys for round 3 in just a second. All right, we're back. This is round 3. It is the loser's bracket. This is a terrible hand, because it's the card that gets us more lands, so we get to mulligan. This is worse. We get to mulligan again. This is worse, but I'm keeping it. Well, it's not worse. This goes on the bottom. If we draw any land, we have Branch Walker. If we draw a white, we have Raptor Companion. Let's play the land, unlike last time, and pass. This was a bad one. I guess you guys will have to wait till next week to see if I get worse or if I actually get better. We shall see. They have a Kinjali's Caller. We talked about that guy. Or gal, I guess. Okay. We drew the planes. It's an 0-3. Yeah, why not? Raptor Companion. Pass. We have, if we draw another land, we have Wayfinder. We're kind of real far away from this Dreadmaw. Okay. We drew the Hammer Skull. Okay, so we could... Well, let's attack first. If they have Slash of Talons or something, it dies, but otherwise I think we're okay. Okay. It gets through. And then we play the Branch Walker. If it's a land, I won't hate it, but I'd prefer it to be just a bigger creature. It is a bigger creature. I'm actually going to put this in my graveyard for now, because I'd much rather get that land, because we sure need it. But we have a 3-2. That's something. And a 3-1. With an 0-3 on the other side of the field, I don't feel so bad. They have 3 lands. All white. They end their turn. And we drew a 3rd land. That is a thing. Let's attack first, as usual. Okay. Yeah, putting that Crash the Ramparts in the graveyard was a good plan, turns out. Take 6, go to 11. Let's go with the Wayfinder first. Exploring card advantage is always more important, especially in this situation that we're in right now. We get the Raptor. That's a good card. They've now seen it. I guess I keep it on top. I'm going to draw it next turn and play the Hammer Skull. And then hopefully draw a land after that and then play the Raptor. We shall see. So far they played an 0-3. They finally get their second color and are now playing out a 5-drop? Yeah, 5-drop. It's a 3-4 flyer. We can tap it down with the Hammer Skull, but they're presumably just trying to attack with it, so. Okay. We draw the Raptor. Unfortunately, now with 4 toughness, we cannot attack. Although, I guess we could. They would take 6 and go to 5. And then with the Hammer Skull out, yeah, I guess with the Hammer Skull out, we threaten to tap this thing down. So I could swing out and see what they block. Presumably they just block this 3-3. But they might be afraid of the combat trick, the Crash the Ramparts, for example. Obviously not that exact one. That one's in the graveyard. But yeah, I think we swing out here. I lose 1 creature, but I'm going to replay the Hammer Skull, so I don't necessarily mind. I'll get in for a good load of damage, and if they block it with this as well, then at least their dinos aren't as expensive. Or are more expensive, I should say. Nope, just that way. So that's fine. They go to 5. Let's tap 3, play the Hammer Skull, and that's it. So next turn we can tap the flyer if they leave it back to block, or if they attack with it and play something else instead. Yeah, we can bring them to 2, maybe, if they have no other creatures, but they have 5 cards in hand. I can't see how they wouldn't. They played their 5th land, so they've got to have something. Pious Interdiction, that is something. They gain 2 life, and the Hammerskull can't attack or block. Do they attack? That's their whole turn. At least mana-wise. Okay, they did not attack. Well then, and we drew the land for the Ripjaw Raptor. That's definitely helpful. So the question here is, well, not really the question, but I'm not going to attack. It would only bring them to 4, and their flyer would still live. So I'm just going to play the Raptor that they know we have, and I'm going to pass my turn. I'm not going to attack. Nope. And that'll be it. Let's see what they've got. I still can't block their flyer. They play this, and it explores. It's a 4/4. Still not enough for this. And the Steadfast Armasaur, I like this card a lot. It's a great card. It can only deal 3 damage. So it could kill any of the... I mean, this can't block. But it could kill these 2. But it can't kill my Ripjaw Raptor. Blossom Dryad. That is helpful. It will get us that much closer to Colossal Dreadmaw. Alright, so let's... Hold on. Let's decide if we're attacking with this Ripjaw Raptor. If we attack all out, if they block, we draw a card, which is nice. If they double block, the Raptor dies, but I get to kill their Vigilance guy or their Flyer. And then they're gonna, if they double block, they're gonna take at least 3. And double blocking is right now the only way they can kill this. So I'm pretty sure, let's just swing out with everything we can at least. I'll have the Blossom Dryad as a blocker if I need it. But let's attack in for 10. So it's a must block on at least the Ripjaw Raptor. Okay, they'll do that and that. So they go to 3. That seems fine. Because I'll have... Oh, okay. That's fine as well. I take no damage from that guy, but at least we get it off the field. Their dinos are now full price. They killed 2 of our blockers. That's also fine. Let's go with a Blossom Dryad. And if we draw a land next turn, we can play the Colossal Dreadmaw. Pass. And if we have to, we're at 20, so we shouldn't. But if we have to, we could block with the Blossom Dryad. I just don't see a need. Okay, they play the Armasaur. That's fine. They don't have the 2 mana, plus they wouldn't be able to activate it this turn anyway. Or, obviously, I mean on my turn, but... They attack with nothing, so we're still at 20. And we draw the Legion's Judgment. Well, we only had 4 mana, so with the Blossom Dryad it would only be 5, which is not 6. 5 is not 6. Let's go ahead and use Legion's Judgment on the 4/4, and then we can attack with the 4/5 and see what happens. They have 1 red mana. Good. Okay. Let's attack with the Ripjaw Raptor. See if they take it and go to 3. Obviously, I'm not attacking with the Blossom Dryad. That would be literally no point. Okay, they're taking it. Good. Well, next turn it'll have to be something they have to deal with. And again, with this cushion of 20 life, I'm not too afraid of them attacking. Hey, they got their 3rd color. I don't like playing 3 colors for that reason. If you've noticed, I don't do very well with mana. So, on Magic Online at least. On paper, I play whatever colors I need to play. But Magic Online, on the other hand, not my friend. They attack with that guy. Oh, it's got Vigilance, so that makes sense. I will not be blocking. I take 2. And go to 18. And then they play a Thrasher Raptors. It's a 5/3. Ooh, a Grazing Whiptail. Okay, so now I can profitably block this 3/4. And we still don't have that land for this Colossal Dreadmaw. So the question is, if we attack... Well, if we attack with this, we draw a card. So we might be able to get that land for the Colossal Dreadmaw. And that would be able to block this 5/3 perfectly. But again, they would be blocking this way if they kill the Raptor. So they do have the 2 mana. So this would deal 3 damage and then 2 damage. So they could trade 1 for 1 with our Raptor. But the Raptor's going to take damage twice that way. So it's still good enough for us. We draw 2 cards off of that. So it's either a 1 for 1 and we draw 2 cards, or it's a 1 for 1 and we draw 1 card. So presumably they're just going to block with their 5/3. But it's a lethal attack, so they have to do something. They will block. It's better for me if they block with the Armasaur. It makes more sense for them to block with the Raptors. Yeah, that's fine. I draw a card. We trade creatures. Is it a land? It is the land. Little did they know, that's all I needed. That way, and then untap this land. And tap it for 6, and play a 6/6. Pass. The Armasaur can't kill that guy. Obviously not without some kind of a double block. But this is also a 6/6 trample, so it is a must block, and they have to block it with more than just this guy. So, let's see. Plus we have this Whiptail on backup, which is nice. I mean, worst comes to worst, if we need it to attack, it's a 3/4. Again, perfectly blocked by this guy, but vice versa is also true. Do they attack? They do. Okay. So, I don't think it's necessary to block, because I don't really want to walk into a combat trick of some kind. They have 7 mana and 3 cards in hand, and otherwise I'm just taking 2 and going to 16. So I'm just going to take 2 and go to 16. I'm not that scared. And then they do... They play the Archer. And do they have it... That seems... Okay, they just choose to not do it. Okay. That took me a second. I'm like, why would they do that? I got it now. All right, so... If they block with this guy, they take 2. If they block with this guy, they take 2. If they block with this guy, they take 3. But I'm presuming that there's going to be some kind of a multi-tiered block situation going on here. And they can deal the 3 damage to it early, and then they'd need to deal 3 more, so there'd be 2 and 1, for example. And then they'd have their 3/4 flyer, but they don't know that we have the Whiptail in our hand. So let's attack with our 6/6 trample and see how they try and stop it. They also have 4 mana and 2 cards in hand, so they could not sacrifice 2 of their creatures or 1 of their creatures. We'll see. Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna... Okay, they're still thinking about it. Okay. So if I have to assign blocking order, I'm killing the Armasaur, because he would be a problem for, say, my Whiptail. So let's do it that way. Armasaur takes damage first. No damage tramples over. And my creature will die. Oh, no, actually, they have to use the ability, otherwise my creature won't. So let's see if they remember it. Perfect. No problem. So I take 3 damage first, and then 3 more. It's exact. Man, I wish I had that Crash the Ramparts right about now. It's totally fine. Yes. Okay. So now in my second main phase, I will play the Grazing Whiptail. Perfect. Love it. Okay. We'll pass. I still have my Blossom Dryad. I debated attacking with it, but to be fair, with the way that they blocked the 6/6, they would have been able to just eat it with this guy. Now they have this. Whenever it takes damage, I take 3. Okay. No attacks from them. And that's the end of their turn. And now I have a flyer as well. Okay. That's... At least they can't block it with this. So if I can find a way to pump this somehow, we do have the other Crash the Ramparts in there somewhere. So let's go ahead and play the Shining Aerosaur. And pass, I guess? We'll pass. If this thing attacks, I think the question is, do we block? And if so, how? I'd rather take 3 than 5, but we'd have to double block with these two to be able to kill it. Enrage would only trigger once, because all damage occurs at the same time. I feel like they've had a combat trick this whole time, because they've been kind of pretty aggressively attacking. So let's see if there's anything that we can do. I'm gonna risk this double block and see what happens. They can only kill one of them. I assume it's the 3/4. It sure is. But does that happen? It does happen, it looks like. Yeah, and we take 3. That's fine with me. We keep our Blossom Dryad in case we draw something big, although to be fair, the only other big thing we have is a 7-drop since our 6-drop is dead. Fire Cannon Blast deals 6 damage to this, so it dies. That's a thing. That's good for them. Okay, and we draw a Slash of Talons. Alright, we will play the Ravenous Daggertooth. And I think we will attack. Do we attack? Or do we just wait? I think we wait. Let's wait. Because if we attack next turn with this 3/2, we can't block anyway here, and I'll happily take 1. But if we wait until next turn, we attack for 3, then we can use this Slash of Talons on either one of these that blocks. Yep, only that. That's fine. I take 3. So yeah, we can use the Slash of Talons to kill the archer. They have a lot of mana, but only 2 cards in hand. They passed. We got another Daggertooth. Okay, let's go to combat. I'm going to attack with both of these. Slash of Talons kills the archers either way, and they're taking... Well, they have to block this guy, actually. Which means I'll gain 2 life, and they'll go to 1. Unless they have something in there, up their sleeve. Which, as always, is an option. Jesus, that took forever. Feel free to go back and check what their clock was before this. Let's see if we can actually implement this plan now. It's always so hard to tell. I just skipped through my attack phase, didn't I? Okay, fine. I'll just play the other Daggertooth. That's really frustrating. I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell whether they just walk away because they don't care. They feel like they've lost. It's so hard to tell. But they never, I'll show you the chat, they never disconnected. It would tell you. It's told me in the past. And then, of course, because they came back, I was like, oh, sure, okay. And so because of that, we skipped through our attack phase. Now we have to take an extra 3 flying. Okay. They got to draw an extra card, give themselves more of a chance of finding it out. That's really frustrating. Yeah, they got a 5/3 Trampler. Well, at least it dies to one of these and gain life in the process. They have 2 cards left. Okay, so we drew a land. Let's hold on to that. Let's actually try to go to combat this time and see if they let us or if they're just going to make us sit here. Sweet. Okay, let's attack with all 3. Is that what we said? Because the issue is now, yeah, because it's 2 lethal attacks, which they have to stop, and then the 2 gets through. So we attack with those. See what happens. They have 2 cards in hand, 4 mana. That's the way they block. So let's Slash of Talons on this guy. He takes it before damage fully happens, and then the damage goes through. We gain 4 life and trade with one of their creatures and kill the other, and they go to 1. Alright, let's keep the land in our hand, like I said, and we will pass. If we draw the 7-drop, then we can use the Blossom Dryad and play a land and try to get through that way. Depending on what they have, where we might not take an attack this turn, they have another one. They also have 2 of those. We have 2 of those. Okay. Do I take 3 in the air this turn? I don't think so, because you need both back as blockers. They will Rile to deal 1 damage. It gains Trample, and they draw a card. Okay, so it was just to draw a card. They're looking for outs. They have, well, they drew a land. They have double green now, if that's something they were looking for. They do not attack. Okay, because they do need both back as blockers. We talked about that. Okay, so at least we drew a creature. That's something that's relevant. Attacking right now would not be something I'd want to do, but if we can build out enough of a board, we literally need to do 1 damage. If we can build out enough of a board to be able to get through with another creature, that would be cool. I think going to the next game is going to be interesting. I will not attack this turn. I think going to the next game is going to be interesting with their clock. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to run out their clock, but they also just sat there for, what, 5-10 minutes doing nothing. So, okay, they got the Armasaur, which is unfortunate, but fine, I guess. Okay, and they're also playing a Grazing Whiptail. They have like 1 million creatures now. Jesus. Well, at least they're empty-handed. Now they can pretty safely attack with 1 or both of these. Well, just 1. Yep, and they do so. That makes sense. Because we don't have any profitable attacks, unfortunately, and we can't block. So we go to 8. What do we draw? Crash the Ramparts. Well, now we win. Let's do it. They have no cards in hand? Yeah, we just win. Okay. So we go to combat. We attack with everybody. And whoever gets blocked by any of them, it really doesn't matter. We just need to get 1 point through. Yeah. So we put it against the Grazing Whip. Or no, we put it against the other flyer. Crash the Ramparts. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We win. Let's go to the next game. Yep. Perfect. All right. So they had 2 flyers. They had a Reacher, but they also had that enchantment. And we do technically have these Demystifies. Question is, what do we put in Demystify for? We could put it in instead of the Slash of Talons, but the Slash of Talons did pretty good work for us. Commune with Dinosaurs has helped us out with our land issues. Again, Tishana's Wayfinder kind of seems to be the thing I keep getting rid of. I think Ranging Raptors might also be something to think of getting rid of. We have literally not been able to cast this thing once because of all of our, again, mana troubles. So I might just consider taking this out for the Demystify, keeping our curve lower. But they've had ways of dealing with everything we have. They have 2 of these flyers. They have the Grazing Whiptail. Like, their deck is similar to ours, but it also has red in it. I think I'm going to get rid of the top. I think I'm going to learn from our mistakes. I'm going to put in a Demystify, and I'm going to submit and see what happens. This is our last game of the losers bracket. Is it the last game? No, actually, I don't think it is. But regardless, they're going to go first, I assume. We have 4 mana. We have the Ranging Raptors, the Raptor Companion. This seems okay. I'll keep it. They kept 7 as well. They have nothing for turn 1. So we go to... Oh, yeah. So we go to our turn 1. Well, we drew the Demystify. That's a good thing. We'll play the Forest and pass. We have Raptor Companion next turn. They have 2 mana. No white yet. We got the commune with dinosaurs. That's interesting. We don't need it right now, but we might if we start getting empty-handed or flooded or something. We have something to back it up. Put this over here. We don't need that for a while. They have 7 minutes left on their clock versus our 13 and a half almost. Okay, we drew a pounce. Let's go to combat first. Whoops. Okay. Yes, attack for 3. They go to 17. We play a land and a ranging raptors. Oh, whoops. Okay, that's fine. And we pass. Right now, if they're not playing anything, we've just got bodies on the board. That's important. 4 mana for a Thrash of Raptors. Okay. We can pounce with our 3/1. Or we could just attack with it and see what happens. We have the Colossal Dreadmaw. We have the Commune with Dinosaurs. Okay, so let's commune first and see what happens. Because we can't play Aerosaur this turn. Alright, so what did we get? We lose the Legion's Judgment, which kind of sucks. But we can get the Grazing Whiptail, which we can play next turn. We can get the Daggertooth, or we could get a land. I think I'm going to take the Daggertooth. I can play it this turn, and it blocks the Thrash of Raptors amazingly well. I'll take 3 damage off the trample, but I'll also gain 2 life, so I just take 1 in total. I think it's a great card. And these go on the bottom in any order. Let's go Legion's Judgment, Grazing Whiptail, Plains, and Forest. Perfect. Let's play the Daggertooth. And then with 5 cards in their hand, I guess I attack with the Raptor Companion. I don't mind trading a 2-drop for a 4-drop, or they can just take 3. Either way. Yep, perfect. Perfect, perfect. That's what I like to see. And that's it for my turn. They did get their white. They went to combat, so they didn't have another dinosaur, and they passed. Well, we have a dinosaur. And we have a Pterodon Knight, which will have flying because we have a dinosaur. In fact, we have 3. Let's go to combat. They don't seem to like blocking our 3-power guys, so why not hit them for 6? If they choose to block, presumably they just block the 2/1, so I don't gain 2 life. Oh, okay. They'll let me gain 2 life. That seems silly. But I guess that's fine. I don't... Yeah, that's totally fine. I'll gain 2 life. Sure, go to 22. And then with my other 2 dinos, I'll tap 4 and play the Pterodon Knight. That'll be my turn. 1 more land, and we have this other flyer as well. We know they have flying. They do have 5 lands, so they could play one of their Aerosaurs at any time. At the end of my turn, they used Crushing Canopy to destroy target creature with flying. Well, they're going to be upset if I draw another land. But that's fine. They have 6. And they're tapping it all to play the Sun-Crowned Hunters. We saw that guy already. It's a 5/4. Okay. Okay, that's the end of their turn. We drew our land. That's cool. If we draw another one, we have a 6/6, but for now we have a 3/4 flyer. And we're going to play it. And then we're going to pass. No attacks from me. Not this turn. If I have to take 5, I'll take 5. They are at 11, so I don't mind getting some of this going. We do have Pounce for something that they could use to block this. If we want that 6th land, we can do it with Pounce. They're going to combat. That's fine. They do attack. I'm not double blocking that guy. I don't see a need. I'll take 5. Because as we saw, once we have critical mass of creatures, we can just easily get through for those last couple of points. So, With 4 cards in their hand, they're tapping 6 to play another one. Okay, that's fine. We drew the 6th land. Let's go to combat first, I guess. They're tapped out, so I'm not worried about them blocking my flyer. And they go to 8. And then we play out a 6/6 trample for next turn. Perfect. And pass. We have a pounce as well, so we can pounce one of them if they decide to leave it back. If it's only one, I should say. Because then we can pounce it, kill it, and then hit them for 6 unblockable, or not able to be blocked. If they, only, like I said, if they only leave 1 back. Because the flyer's getting in for 3 no matter what. Excuse me. Again, we'll take 3, but if it's to kill them, I don't really care. And I feel like if they had something to stop it, they would have done that already, but we'll see if they attack. Another Thrash of Raptors. Okay, so they have 3 5-power creatures on the field. That's unfortunate. But we can actually pounce the Thrash of Raptors with our Raptor Companion. They're communing with the dinosaurs. And revealing... Plains. Okay, they took a land. Either they whiffed or they like really needed that land. I guess they have 2 mana now, so they might have a pounce themselves. They do not attack, and they end their turn. We draw a land. It's not really relevant right now. So, if we attack with both, and they might think that they can double block with one of these and the Thrash of Raptors on this guy. If they triple block, then he's dead no matter what. But at least if they double block and use the Thrash as one of them, we can pounce in response, kill their creature, and our creature lives. And I think that's our best line. And we're obviously attacking with the flyer. And then we'll leave back this guy if we really need him to block and get us another land, which we kind of don't. But I think it's better to make them think that they can easily double block here, and then we just pounce our Raptor Companion into it to stop it. Let's see how they choose. Like I said, they clearly went for the 2nd mana, so they might have something with their 2 cards in hand. But, yeah. Okay. It can't be a single... Oh, it could be a single block. That would be even better. Then they just lose. Nope, it's a double block. That's fine. They take 2 and 3. They go to 3. Unless they are still debating whether to triple block. That would probably be their best bet, but still. Let's see what they decide. Tough choice, but I think with this pounce we have all the tools we need. Oh, okay. They're switching it up. They're blocking with the Thrash. They're not blocking with the Thrash. They have 2 minutes left on their clock. They're blocking with just that guy? I don't... They have 2 minutes left. This is very stressful. Can we talk about that? Okay, so here's the deal. If they block with just this, we still win. We pounce it with the Raptor Companion. Oh, wow. Okay, so we just win. Yep. The trample all goes over, and we hit them for 9 and win. Yep. Okay. Well, we did it. That last game was actually kind of cool with the different lines and concepts and ideas that we had, but it didn't matter after the first two losses. So, unfortunately, I get no prize, I get no nothing, I just go 1-2. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I'm going to, I guess, go to the deck so that you guys have something to look at as we're saying goodbye. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know, like I said, what you thought in the comments down below of my picks, of my play style. Was this deck really that bad? Did I just get unlucky in the first two rounds? I'd appreciate your opinions in the comments down below. This has been Geek for All. I've been Joe. Feel free to click on some of the other videos. Like I said, we have the last draft. If you click on our logo, you can subscribe and find out when all of our videos come out. We have these drafts every Saturday. We have product openings every Monday, and we have story reviews, Magic story reviews every Thursday. I've been Joe once again, and as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks so much, everybody.